everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to tell you why I am hype for She-Hulk. Now, you know, She-Hulk comes out next week. Actually, like, today is the third. I'm recording this on a Thursday. She-Hulk will be coming out next Thursday. So it's upon us. It is coming, and it is coming real soon. And it's exciting for me. You know, Marvel just put out that I Am Groot thing to kind of whet your appetite. But you know what? Like I've said before, I've had a lot of She-Hulk is one of the few characters, unlike Moon Knight and a couple others, I actually have comic books that I have read of her that I enjoyed, that I thought were awesome. So I was excited when they were gonna do this anyway. So I was excited when they were gonna do this anyways. And then over time, my excitement only grew when you start hearing Bruce Banner, when you start hearing about Daredevil. The trailers come out. The only issue I've ever had with it is the CGI, which to the show's credit, every time they come out with a new piece of something with She-Hulk, I don't know, maybe it's just me being optimistic, but does that CGI looks better and better and better? It's not great, you know what I mean? It's not perfect. But every time I see it, it looks a bit better. It looks more like I want it to, which is Mark Ruffalo at the end of Avengers Endgame. You say what you want about Smart Hulk. The CGI on Mark Ruffalo at the end of Avengers Endgame, in Avengers Endgame, was fucking insane. Like, the CGI was so good. Like, it looked like his mannerism, the stubble, all of it looked so fucking on point. And like, in my brain, him and Thanos are some of the best, in my personal opinion, Thanos is the greatest CGI creation of all time because he looks like a real dude. It's crazy. It's insane. And Mark Ruffalo looks like a real person. So like, I keep comparing like CGI, I compare basically all CGI creatures and creations to those two, and nothing comes close. So in my mind, I was thinking Jennifer Walters was gonna look like that, and she doesn't. And I have to like, I've kind of finally like taken a step back and realizing that like, dude, they like, Avengers Endgame cost $500 million. Like, they weren't like, this show is about $150. So like, unless they were gonna tack on an extra $20 million to make her look even better, you know what I mean? And have her look better for multiple episodes. So I should have known better. I should have known better than to think that she was gonna look that good. But I digress. I do think that is progressively looking better. Every time I see it, the VFX, the special effects on her look better. They do. I think they both look better every time I see it. The more things come out. But, you know, that's still an issue. But it's a minor one because so many other things have come out, and they just came out with a clip earlier today and a new little trailer. And every single time they come out with something, first we got a glimpse at Daredevil, and we got a full glimpse of him. I posted it up, a full glimpse of Daredevil in full. Tatiana Maslany and the director talking about the chemistry and back and forth between them, so you're excited for that. Wong is in this, asking her for legal advice, and it seems like if you check IMDb, Wong's gonna be in a lot of this show. So Wong's here, fucking Blonsky is back, they got obscure fucking heroes and villains coming through. There's a shitty version of the Wrecking Crew in here. Like, there's so much going on, plus the dynamic between Bruce and, you know, Bruce and his cousin Jennifer. It's so interesting, and like I say, the more I see on this show, the more clips, the more things, I just get even more excited for it because we still have no idea where it's really going. All they've really said is, and they've kind of highlighted that earlier today with the new clip, is that it's going to be a lawyer show, and it's going to be about her having to find the line between being a lawyer and being a superhero. Now, Daredevil has dealt with that, obviously, but the thing Daredevil has is he has the, you know, obviously he has the, what's the word I'm looking for? He has the advantage that no one knows that he's a superhero. Like, Matt Murdock, like, it's just a coincidence. Like, granted, it is kind of funny. Like, I remember when I watched the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, I was always, like, under the impression that, like, anytime Matt, so are you telling me that anytime Matt can't, you know, take down a bad guy in court, he just goes and whoops his ass? Wouldn't that be suspicious? Is every time Matt Murdock you know, a bad guy got away from Matt Murdock, that bad guy got his ass whooped by Daredevil, I'd be like, something is up here. Maybe I wouldn't assume that the blind guy's doing it, but I'd assume that he knows somebody who is doing it. But I digress. You know, Daredevil Matt Murdock has the advantage of no one believe, like that, you know, his blindness and whatnot. No one believes that he's even a superhero. Whereas She-Hulk has always been, and that's the thing too. That's the difference between Matt and She-Hulk too. Not only are they on separate sides of the bar, because one's the defense attorney and one's a prosecutor. Not only are they on the separate sides of that, even though some people go back and forth, you know. Not only are they on separate sides of that, for the most part, anyways. But you know, Matt usually just does small time stuff. He doesn't really defend, like there aren't a lot of comic book panels of him defending like a superhero or something. He really sticks to, you know, sticking up for the little man, where Jen does the big stuff because people know who she is. She can't hide that she's She-Hulk. So everyone knows that Jennifer Walters is She-Hulk and a lawyer. So it seems like the whole premise of the show, which just keeps getting played up, is what they really played up in the last little thing they posted up is this show is going to be about her having to balance both of those things, and they're going to be about at what point is the law not enough, and at what point can you step over the law? Can she be a superhero and a lawyer at the same time and defend superheroes? Because it seems like that's going to be a big thing too, is she's the one who defends superheroes and even supervillains, as you see with Blonsky, in court. And it's kind of filling gaps into the MCU. Honestly, that's another thing that makes me excited about She-Hulk, is it's just more world building. Like, it just answers more questions that people have. All the time people have, like, you know, like real life questions, like if this was real, like, well, wouldn't these superheroes get sued? Wouldn't this happen? Who cleans up all this? And when you create something like Damage Control, who cleans up this? And when you create something like this organization, and you create an entire department that's dedicated to defending superheroes in court, it makes sense, right? It starts to add up to be like, you feel more gaps into your brain. And I feel like the MCU is going to do a lot more of that with some of their shows and movies, where they start feeling gaps in, where it's like, because at this point, especially in the clip where you hear Jen talking to Bruce about, is it basically having a conversation about, is Captain America a virgin? And like, you know, Bruce is telling her his personal experience, the real story, and she's talking about, well, this is what they said on the History Channel. You know, they said this about Captain America on the History Channel. They said this. And it's this kind of fun thing that you don't really get in reality. Because, you know, in reality, anything that's, like, most of the big, huge events of our, like, lifetime, like, it either happened... So it either happened not that long ago, so we remember it, you know, clearly, or it happened so long ago that, like, you know, we're getting secondhand speak about it. Like, you know, when they talk about World War II stuff and things like that, you're getting secondhand speak about it. Like, people just talking about it. But it's funny to see someone who, like, she's just going off the thing. Now, we know that there's a lot of stuff like that in the MCU. I mean, Ant-Man's got a podcast. Apparently he has a book and his new movie. There's so much, like, lore stuff like that. I mean, the Avengers musical and how much they know about this and how people know about the snap and what happened and stuff. You know, it's so interesting that they're filling so much in. Like, and you know what? That's what these Disney Plus shows were for. I've always described these Disney Plus shows as DLC slash, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like kind of DLC, where it's like these shows, like you know what I mean, like, in certain games, like say Mass Effect, if you've ever played the Mass Effect franchise, there are DLCs that you can play that will affect the story in the next game. There are characters in these DLCs that won't even be there unless you play them in the next game. And that's how these Disney Plus shows are. They are DLCs, they are prequels. They are no. What's the word I'm looking for? They're prologues. They're DLCs. They're setting up the movies. They're extra stuff that you don't need to watch it, but it's extra stuff. You know what I mean? It's things that fill in the world even more. And this show in particular, with the appearance, there might be even more cameos because they even made fun of it with the appearance of a Daredevil, Blonsky, Hulk. I mean, there's this hilarious little bit where Wong says, "Call my lawyer," and I'm just like, this is such an interesting concept and a fun concept. Not to mention, it's gonna piss off the right people. I have already seen a litany of little dick nerd nut bags. I said that completely wrong. little dick nerd bags, there we go, who are losing their shit over like that one little clip of, oh, she's doing these things better than Bruce, when it's clear and obvious in those clips. I don't know if you know it, I don't know if you want to see it. She is trying, Bruce isn't. Because Bruce is under control while she's trying to show off, and he's not. As seen when the moment he snapped for just a brief second, he chucked a rock into orbit because he still has it in him. He just, like, they have it, like people think, oh, no. Like, that one sequence of him chucking the rock into orbit kind of made me go, okay, so they're acknowledging, like, no, it's still in him. He's just under control. He's under control. He's calm and cool and relaxed. So he's not going to let it get the better of him. And she's just going out, all out. So that's the difference between the two. And I know some people are already upset about that. There's already some people complaining about her body shape, and now we're doing this now. There's so much going on. And like I said, this show is going to piss off the right people, because there are going to be some sequences with her carrying a man around, with her manhandling men, because that's what it is in the comics. Most men she sleeps with, she's manhandling. Like, you know, like, or she can if she wants to. Except like when she's with Hercules and Juggernaut that one time. But other than that, you know, most guys she's just throwing them. She could just, you know. And like, dude, I'm so excited. I'm so curious of how far they're gonna go with the sexual stuff. Like, how far? It seems like, I mean, they put it in the trailer. So it seems like they're not shying away. But we still don't really know who the villain's gonna be, because Titania is in this, who is her, you know, most notable villain. She's, you know, she's got the same kind of power set as she does. Actually, I think Titania's power set is similar to the Juggernaut. Like, it comes from some type of mystical source or something, I believe, anyways. So she's in this, but I don't think Titania's gonna be the main villain. At least it doesn't seem like she's gonna be the main villain. I'm not sure who's gonna be the main villain. Like, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, they haven't given away what the main thing's gonna be. And like I said, just random ship showed up and ran her and Bruce off the road. So like, there are mystical things going on here. There are things from Thor Ragnarok going on here. And the vibe of this show, I think this show is going to rival Loki in terms of Easter eggs. It really is. I think this show is going to rival Loki in terms of Easter eggs. And since it's the first 9-episode show since WandaVision, ooh, man, it's gonna, I'm so curious how this is gonna go. It's the first 9-episode show since WandaVision, so they're probably gonna put a mystery out there up top, a mystery of what the fuck happened. I'm so curious. Like, this show got me hyped. I'm prepared for all the whining and bitching of some of the assholes on the internet, of some of the sexist dickbags on the internet. I'm waiting for that. I'm so excited for this show, really, man. Like I just need it. Every time I see something, I'm just like, why isn't it out now? And I'm mad because I gotta wait, because it's only gonna be like a 40-minute show, 40-minute episode show. Oh, sorry. It's only a 40-minute episode show, which, I mean, ain't that bad. We got 9 of them, but, you know, still. I need this now. Anyways, thank you guys for the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. How excited are you for She-Hulk? What are you feeling right now? How is the levels of hype? Is it okay? Is it higher than it was before? Are any of these clips happening? Is Daredevil, you know, Bruce Banner, all this stuff? And I'm just telling you right now, if you look at some of these trailers, there are some deep cuts. I mean, Frogman is in this fucking thing, for crying out loud. There are some deep MCU cuts. I mean, deep. Deeper than Suicide Squad, okay? Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.